diaspora is one of the largest and most spread out in the world. Indeed, it is estimated to consist of over 10 million people, 10% of the country's population. Countries with the highest Filipino population are the United States, Saudi Arabia, Canada, the United Arab Emirates, Malaysia, and Japan. Filipinos' migration to the United States can be tracked back to as early as the 16th century. Filipino migration has been significant in a number of other countries outside the United States as well. During the dictatorial regime of Ferdinand Marcos from 1965 to 1986, corruption, oppression, and economic depression were almost omnipresent. This caused a number of Filipinos to flee the country, many as political refugees, while the United States remains the major destination for most migrants due to the historical association between the two. The history of the Filipino diaspora is long and complex. The large proportion of the population living abroad reflects the country's unique cultural identity.
The purpose of the phenomena of the Filipino diaspora is complex, involving migration patterns, cross-cultural exchanges, economic consequences, political and social integration, identity construction, transnationalism, globalization, and opportunities as well as obstacles. It clarifies the political, social, economic, and historical factors that have driven Filipino migration as well as the dynamic process of cross-cultural exchange and adaptation. In addition, the diaspora has a big impact on the economics of the Philippines and the host countries, supporting industries like domestic services, healthcare, education, and hospitality. Moreover, it highlights the interdependence of nations, cultures, and people beyond boundaries and demonstrates the complex nature of transnationalism and globalization.
The Filipino diaspora and the changing Filipino identity conveys a story of toughness and flexibility when it comes to the cultural changes and richness of Filipinos, enduring connections to keep us bound with our compatriots around the world. Unaware, diversity is seen to acknowledge every challenges and highlights the ways in which Filipinos abroad continue to shape and enrich both their own lives and the societies in which they now reside.
The intended audience of the Filipino diaspora are the Filipinos who are working abroad, the Filipino communities in foreign nations, the Filipino families that have immigrated to said foreign nations, the Filipinos within the Philippines, as well as the general public. Overall, the intended audience of discussions on the Filipino diaspora often aims to engage and empower Filipinos worldwide, while also raising awareness and fostering understanding among broader audiences about the experiences and contributions of the Filipino diaspora community.
The Filipino diaspora had a profound impact on the cultural identity of the Filipinos who are living abroad. They have immigrated to a different country for a long time that they adapt the other country's cultural identity. And for our viewers, who are most likely students, we know that your desired goal is to work overseas, to be a Filipino diaspora. But let us keep in mind that our identity will always be a Filipino. We might adopt some of their culture, but let us not forget that we are not just a Filipino in paper. We are also a Filipino by heart.
Across the world, the Filipino diaspora has woven together a diverse tapestry of identities, cultures, and experiences. The culture of the Philippines and the various adopted nations continue to affect the evolving Filipino identity as people migrate in search of employment, education, and other opportunities. The diaspora has contributed to resilience, community development, and cultural interchange despite its difficulties, benefiting both the Philippines and the nations where Filipinos currently reside.